Welcome to Royameadow, Modern Legacy. Tonight, we take a trip back to Season 3, where the Tony Award was high and the graduations were reigning supreme. It's Royameadow 13. The following program is a production of Royameadow from 2013. Over the course of this channel's lifespan, Sonic the Hedgehog has remained a constant throughout every generation. From commentaries and ROM hacks to original mixes, secret findings, and speedruns, what is debatably Sega's greatest creation continues to gather a relevant presence in our programming, garnishing what is presently almost half of our overall viewership. With a new era coming upon the fan base, and the ever-growing catalog of remastered originals coming to our viewing screens, the moment has come once again to return to where it all began. Join us as we go through the archives and deliver the first adventure in a way that is up to code. The only thing we can do to guarantee a quality experience for this mascot. We're going back to the island. There are two things that are inevitable in media: producing new material and returning to something that you haven't touched in years. That is the story of today, folks. This is the third time I have had to talk over Sonic the Hedgehog on this channel, and I could say in many ways that it has come full circle. When I started talking over the Sonic franchise back in 2011, it was 2011, it was season 1 or 2. It was 1. The experience was, for the most part, mediocre at best, but I always was delivering ROM hacks in some way, shape, or form. I would only ever talk over ROM hacks and not really the retail build of the game. And that's what you're experiencing here. So, when I say things have come full circle, they kind of literally have. When I first talked over this game back in 2011, this was using Mark Gordon, better known as Happasan and Sinosu, his ROM hack Sonic the Hedgehog at Sage 2010. Now I am coming back to this using a Sonic Hacking Contest 11 title, Sonic the Hedgehog Never Stop Running. Yes, the ultimate Fitbit experience, where no matter how much you jump, how much you run, how much you kill enemies, get rings, get hit, lose chances, everything. Every single thing you do is being recorded in real time. And I actually don't know a lot of people who have done Never Stop Running, but for what it's worth, Never Stop Running does enhance the experience to some degree or another, making things a bit more accessible and also deliver some proper quality of life improvements. So for those who are unaware of this title, this is based, I think it's based on Revision 1. If it's based on Revision 0 but using a good amount of Revision 1's improvements, good for it. You probably have also seen some camera changes, like for example, what you see here is not exactly what is supposed to be shown at the end of Green Hill Act 2. And as you also saw at the beginning, there are cutscenes. So yes, effectively this has been given the quote-unquote Sonic 3 experience. And for many people, if you want to play the original Sonic the Hedgehog, at least as close to the retail build as possible while still having the story feel a little more fleshed out, this is kind of the best way to do it. Combined with Dr. Robotnik's creature capture by Marky Jester in sometime in 2012, I can't remember exactly when. But yeah, combined with that, you pretty much have a virtually complete experience with this title until Extended Edition comes out, but that's another story for another time. I don't know when we're getting Extended Edition, and if we ever do, I know that we're going to have a fun experience with that. I've been waiting for that since 2008. Most of my Sonic hacking experiences, or at least playing the games, playing the ROM hacks, came back in 2007. That was the first time I got gens, and that is my first ROM hack that I played was Sonic the Hedgehog 2 long version. Hence why I even did it for this channel. And I do feel that going forward, yeah, every single Sonic title that I ever talk over has to use this same formula. Deliver some relevant ROM hack, talk over ROM hacks that also cover some of the prototype material, and that's pretty much just going to be the whole commentary. This effectively means that even though something such as Never Stop Running is only 2 parts, in this kind of a situation, you kind of have what is considered an endless commentary, so to speak. Kind of like what Volcano the Bat does with Several Wills. Yeah, if you're not familiar with his Sonic Adventure 4 Several Wills, or Sonic the Hedgehog 2006-2007 game commentary, that's got well over 200 parts. And the experience just keeps getting added on top of each other. And that's basically what I'll be doing here. Every single time I'm in a mood to deliver some sunk, I will just go out of my way and slap in some ROM hack, be it Never Stop Running, or 9-Echo Edition, Sonic Uno, Beta Remake, Coarty No, Sonic Paint. You name it. Every single ROM hack will get covered in one shape or form with this particular commentary program going forward. And I do feel that that's kind of the nice way to bring Modern Legacy into... Is the term fruition or reality fitting here? I guess both. And that's part of the reason why I thought that, you know, might as well have this as a debut program for Modern Legacy, because when you really think of it, Sonic has kind of, for the most part, been a staple of this channel. In one way, shape, or form, be it me talking over a game, or modding a game, or trying to do something experimental with any of the GameCube titles, or Mania, or literally anything in between. Heck, you'll love what I did with Tails Adventure whenever we get around to that commentary. That'll be a fun time. There is just no two ways about it. Sonic is inevitable. For me, this has just been what has gotten this channel the most viewership. Actually, most of the stuff that has gotten the highest viewership on this channel that is Sonic related is usually either something involving a ROM hack, such as Mega Mushroom Edition, S Factor, or even Banya GE. And then there are things such as, say the Wave Japanese Easter egg in Riders. And for those who are curious, yes, that is the same that you would normally see in the Japanese version. In the Japanese version, the same clip is the same clip, only with Jet's Japanese vocals in place of Jason Griffith. But when I think about this series as a whole, and part of why I'm even coming back to it again, it's not just to remaster the old commentary, because let's face it, I needed to do this somehow, because I didn't want to have any future programming be strictly in 480p. 720/60 is the way to go. The amount of hours that I have put into this series, whether it be playing or recording or modding, there's always one reason or another for me to come back to it. And that's kind of the way of life when it comes to certain things that you've played or have done over the years. You kind of don't get tired of doing it. And that's basically my mindset with Sonic. This is a game I can easily beat in less than 40 minutes if I'm going all emeralds. I don't really try to speedrun the first game for one reason or another. It's likely just so I don't have to wear out myself. Because, when I really think about it, as most of us in the gaming scene mature or age, we kind of have the mindset that we don't really have all the time in the world to have to optimize a game as far as we can get it. And that's actually one of the reasons why my speedrunner mentality is different than the lot of the general populace, say like those that you would normally see on Awesome Games Done Quick, or Speed Demos Archive, Speedruns Live, Summer Games Done Quick, ESA, and so forth. Because when I got into speedrunning back in 2006, I was not playing games in the same way that everybody else does. I'm not one for the grind, so to speak. I am somebody who intends to set the bar high, not come back to the game for a long time unless something substantial causes me to come back, and then just go on to the next thing. That is because I grew up with tool-assisted runs more than I did real time. Tasks to me will always be more important than RTS, and SARTs, Save State Assisted RTS, will also be more important in some aspects than RTS. But that doesn't discredit what RTS has done, as many of the new tricks that have been found in real-time runs end up getting incorporated into tasks anyway. So ultimately, you kinda can't have one without the other. I'm that middle ground that helps keep everything balanced. And speaking of balanced, I think I actually need to talk about the camera hack in this again. So, as I mentioned before, one of the key things that Mark did for Never Stop Running is that, especially as you go from one act to the next, the background is in a very fixed position, for lack of a better word. As a result, you're going to see, especially as Sonic goes up in this part of Marble 3, and also when we go to Spring Yard 3, well, 2 and 3 actually, that the backgrounds are not positioned where they are supposed to be, at least in the retail version. So ultimately, what you'll be witnessing is that there are certain parts of the background that are missing. And yeah, as a result, this actually makes Spring Yard Zone 3's boss, is it called Spike Eggman? Because I genuinely don't know. I know that all of these older bosses in the Mega Drive era do have names. Like, for example, yeah, apparently I was actually wrong when I did my commentary of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, because originally there was a website. There was a Sonic fan site a long while back, had a turquoise background. And what I remember was that Death Egg, yes, that Death Egg. Now, it was retroactively renamed Death Egg Robot. Most of us know it either as Death Egg or Robo Eggman, but it was called the Egg Exterminator. And okay, so here we go. Here are the Sonic 1 boss names. So Egg Wrecker, Egg Scorcher, Egg Stinger, Labyrinth boss is just simply called what it is. Egg Spiker, and then Final Zone is Egg Crusher, as opposed to the Pistons, which is kind of interesting. I do wonder why. So interestingly, because now, as you know, in later Sonic titles, Robotnik's machines would actually be known under certain animal names, and that would kind of explain why we had animal bosses in the first place, beginning with 8-bit Sonic 2. So yeah, the only boss that actually had a proper animal name in this was the Egg Stinger. So yeah, I can understand why eventually we would get the Egg Scorpion. Robotnik has, I guess, a fetish for insects. But no, that's another story for another time, I guess. But you get the point. You get the point. It's a little interesting that you would see these, that you would see some of these concepts get recycled between the classic and the modern universe. And that's actually another thing that actually brought me back to this. Series. Talking about the classic and the modern universe as separate entities in the same series. Because when Generations of White Space-Time, or sorry, Sonic Adventure 7, Sonic Adventures of Blue Generations of White Space-Time. Yes, we have to go by the full Japanese retail name here. This was the first instance, to my knowledge, that, well, at least in the games, I can't really tell you much about the Archie and IDW comics because I didn't grow up with those. I never had any of those on my person. The only reason why I got Sonic the First is because of Mega Collection and Mega Collection Plus. But yeah, 2011 was basically the point where, I guess, I'm assuming that Takashi Iizuka was the one that was responsible for saying, okay, classic Sonic's in his own universe, modern Sonic's in his own universe, they don't take place at different times, they take place at the same time. So, in theory, so yeah, when I forget if it was Sega or Sonic Team or Dimps or whoever, somebody said that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 takes place during Knuckles' campaign in Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But what they don't say is what universe that takes place in, because remember, this was 2010, not 11. This leads me to the theory that, oh yeah, by the way, yeah, right here, the background is actually supposed to be lower than it actually is. You're not supposed to see the mountains that high up. But, as I was saying, so ultimately, at the end of the day, the real situation is that Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is canonically correct for the modern universe, where it is positioned. That means that Knuckles' campaign in Sonic the Hedgehog 3 actually takes place relatively late in the modern universe, when I think about it. And in theory, that would make sense, especially when you actually kind of consider the age of all the characters, because at this point, because in Sonic the Hedgehog, well, yeah, in the first game, Sonic is supposed to be, according to original developers, 13. He, at this point in the modern universe, should be either 16 or 17. I know that after Generations of White Space-Time, he is at least 16. But I can't vouch for anything after that. I don't really know much about what his age should be in On the Edge Forces, and I don't know what to anticipate out of Frontiers. Cannot explain out of what you'll see here under the name Adventure X. But I digress. Man, you know, this never gets old. Talking over Sonic like this many years later, and it's as if I'm coming into this talking like you already know what I'm talking about. But that's just how it's been for me. It never gets old. One day I could probably say, okay, I'm going to talk over this game, probably discuss the series as I see fit. And one way or another, it still feels like when I started doing commentary back in 2010 and 11. And it even more so feels like when I started actually playing the games, I want to say in 1999. Because one of the first exposures that I had to the first Sonic the Hedgehog... Well, no, not the first Sonic the Hedgehog, but just Sonic the Hedgehog, the franchise outright. It was actually Hidden Palace Zone. Yes, Hidden Palace 92 in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Because back then we had a game Genie in the house, and I haven't forgotten that code even today. ACLA-ATD4. And track 10 has just been etched in my memory ever since. So yeah, the fact that what I grew up on was finding the secrets of the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. That was my first true exposure. Yeah, my uncle and my older brother. My uncle and my older brother. They were both playing this until the cows come home, and it was because of the fact that I was always being exposed to the cheat codes and the hidden stuff, unused data and whatnot. That is basically the way that you'll be seeing me going forward, or that you have seen me go forward. One way or another, scavenger hunting is the way to go for me. And that's why this commentary is shown in the way that it has been. Because you just saw me do a whole bunch of things that most regular players wouldn't normally do. Like that little hidden part there in Spring Yard 3. Nobody would willingly go for that in general play. No, I don't even know if speedrunners normally go for that. Everything I just showed was unorthodox for its intended purpose. But hey, if I can do it, I can do it. And what I will do now is take you to station break. So get ready, you're about to enjoy a little something different. Yes, no promotions today, but it's time for a little special least time program. This is member-supported Royameadow, the modern existence. So to add a little bit of filler into some of these station breaks that would otherwise have promotions, I've decided that any game that I can kind of beat in a quick manner that could not normally be a Royameadow commentary part due to the length that I normally go for, I guess this is kind of the better way to balance out the experience, so to speak. So we're taking on Pitpot, or at least Pitpot's practice mode. In this series, this is actually the prequel entry to the Alex Kidd franchise that we wouldn't get until a little later. So in this, you're playing as Eagle, that is spelled Igul, I-G-U-L. If memory serves correctly, this is Alex Kidd's brother, and you have to save Princess Rooney. I wonder if she has any relation to Mickey Rooney, or Andy Rooney, or Emily and Martha Rooney, or any of the other famous Rooneys out there. Who knows? But yeah, essentially, this, for the most part, was The Legend of Zelda, the Hyrule Fantasy, before The Legend of Zelda, the Hyrule Fantasy. At least so to speak. Because not a lot of people that I know, anyway, grew up with this title. This is not really a game that even I knew. I didn't even know about this, because I didn't grow up with the Sega Mark III, and I didn't grow up with the Master System. Most people who got this game in the U.S. probably got it with the Astro Warrior package. And unfortunately, if you had gotten the international release, oh yeah, by the way, if you're short one treasure or two treasures, that's considered a death. You will not have saved Princess Rooney. She will not be fully healed. You have to get all 3 items in the castle, or else you will not be able to save her proper, and you will not get the proper ending. But yeah, if you didn't get the Japanese version of Pitpot, you actually will lose one key feature, and that is a level creator. You would think that a level creator would be kept in something such as this, that it wouldn't be taken out. Heck, I know that if The Legend of Zelda: The Hyrule Fantasy ended up having a level creator in the Japanese version, but it didn't get carried over to the international release, yeah, all of us would be flipping our fish right now. That's actually kind of the reason why I feel bad that Metroid 1986 was handled in the way that it was. Because the original Metroid shouldn't have had to worry about lacking its, well, let's see, it had a save feature. Was that at the time considered SRAM? Because, see, the thing is, I'm not familiar with, the differences in save RAM and backup RAM outside of the Mega Drive and Sega CD. If you had to ask me about if there was save RAM data on the Famicom disk system and the NES, I wouldn't be able to 100% tell you. I know that the PSX had something similar to that. Yeah, because if you didn't have a memory card, but you wanted to continue a game in real time, you could, assuming that the game is saved, saved the state of your data. I think the PSX Final Fantasy entries did that. I know some of the racing games that I used to play on the PSX did that. I do not believe that Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero had that. Now, that had a password system. If you could continue in real time without a password, that was foreign territory to me. And the rest is all kind of self-explanatory. You get where I'm going with this. So, as you're seeing, I'm doing this in 3 different ways. So saved Rooney without getting any of the, well, by missing one of the treasures. Save Rooney with all the treasures, and then this. Yes, if you truly want to be chaotic evil, you can just kill Rooney without even saving her, and yeah, that's an automatic game over. And that is actually the end of the part. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and if you want to enjoy more of Pitpot, you'll be able to see parts 2 to 4 of the commentary coming soon. If you just happen to be watching this entry via one of the station breaks, go and follow Skeleton Crusader on YouTube. He is the one that helped me figure out how to play this game proper. He played the PAL version. Very, very great and very informative. And again, most of the strats that I used for all the difficulties, they all came from his long play. So give him a view. He is worth it. And we will be back for another program. So, yeah, so see you next station break for another short entry.